Hope you're doing good today. Today we're going to be doing the second half of the homemade percussion caps. And this is the compound that we're going to be using. We're going to dig into that in just a minute. Let me hold this over here. Oh, hope that's focusing in for you. I've opened it up, took the instructions out, haven't taken the pouches out of this yet, so we'll be getting into that coming right up. Well, I've made a bunch of the caps. I formed the caps. I haven't made them yet. They're the little caps here. Oh, I don't know if that camera picks up good or not. But anyway, got a bunch of these made up. Now, I was going through the instructions, and it doesn't really say how many one batch of this will load. So you'll be going along with me on this and learning just as I'm learning. Before we get started, I've got to put this on the screen for you. Alright, now that we got those formalities out of the way, you remember the percussion cap maker here, and we were using just regular aluminum cans. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting the first compound in here and mashing it up a little bit because it does have some lumps in it and you're supposed to smooth it all out. It says to do it while it's in the bag, so I'm going to do that as much as possible. But first, let's open this up and pull these little pouches out and see what we got inside here. And before we do that, let me go ahead and pop this up on the screen for you. Okay, before we get started, I'm going to pop up the disclaimer that they've got on their packaging here, and then you can pause and read that if you like, and then when I pop the instructions up, you can go ahead and pause on that as you like. We'll go ahead and put those up now. Alright, well, let's go ahead and pull these packages out. Now, I'm just going to kind of read, let's see. Okay, 2 large scoops of bag marked L2. So I think that's that white one. Yeah, 2 L2. Well, let me show you the scoop here, because large is not the word I'd give it, but it does have 2 different sizes on here, a large and a small. That's what it looks like, if you can see that. It's a little scoop, and it's got a larger one there and a smaller one over here. And anyway, okay, this first package, it does have some lumps in it. You can feel it. It does need to be smashed up and broken. And disclaimer, once this mixture is put together, you don't want to be doing any squishing and smishing, because it is explosive or flammable or whatever. Okay, so with this scoop, we're going to take 2 large scoops out of L2. Okay, then we're going to take 1 large scoop out of the bag marked L. That's this one. And I have a feeling that this one is powdered charcoal. It doesn't say what these ingredients are, so you know, if you're going to do this, you do it at your own risk. I take no responsibility, and clearly they don't. Okay? So at that time, we'll have 3 large scoops, 2 from the first bag, 1 from the second bag. Okay, then 1 small scoop from the one marked S. What? Wait a minute. 1 large scoop of bag marked L. Oh, okay. one large scoop of bag marked L, and I think I can tell you what that one is too. I believe that that is probably sulfur. Okay, sulfur charcoal. Not sure, but we'll find out how this goes. Okay, and then we got one bag left and one small scoop out of the bag marked S. Oh, one out of each of the bags marked S. And I believe one of these, possibly this one, might be ground glass. I'm not sure. Anyway. Alright, well, let's just jump into it and start mixing this stuff up. Like I said, do not use any metal objects while you're doing this. And I'll be referring back to this. So let's get going with this. Oh, also, after you get this all mixed, you take 1/3 of a scoop of the small scooper here in each percussion cap, and I advise you to have a pair of tweezers handy because these caps are small. But let's get mixing this stuff up here. Okay, L2, we want 2 large scoops. Now this is the one that's kind of crunchy. That's where this comes in handy, the pestle and mortar here. So, well, actually, we want to kind of crush this up before we scoop it, really, because I'll be right back with you. Let me crush this up in the bag here. Alright, well, let's go ahead and do this. We got L2, that's 2 large scoops of this. And with my eyesight, I've got to look hard. These scoops aren't that much difference in size, so. Okay, I believe that's the large one. So we want 2 scoops of this. Wow, that's not much. Another item you're going to want is some acetone. Okay, we got 2 large scoops of that in there. And we're going to crush it up a little more with the pestle and mortar here. Well, 2 large scoops, I'm going to tell you what, I don't know if you can see that down in there. Most of what you see is just residue sticking to the bottom. There's not much in there. Okay. But we got that in there. 2 large scoops there. Okay. 1 large scoop of the bag marked L. That's the one I believe is charcoal. And that one is very powdery, so you don't have to do any crunching on it. And boy, I wish there was a marker on here which one's large, because I don't see a whole lot of difference in size. Okay. Okay, we got 1 large scoop of that. Put this aside. Now we're going to kind of mix it up slowly as we go, instead of waiting until it's all in here. Okay. Then, let's see, 1 small scoop out of each bag marked S. Okay. Now, after you get these 2 ingredients in there, you definitely don't want to be squishing and smushing and stuff, because it will be hazardous to your health. And make sure you're wearing glasses when you do this, some kind of protective glasses. These are plastic lens glasses here. And like I said, I believe this one is sulfur. Kind of the ingredients of making gunpowder. Now, from what I understand, one of these ingredients, when you mix the, after you put it in the cap and you mix the acetone in with it, it's supposed to like help harden it so it doesn't just fall out of the cap when you fill the cap. So, okay, well, there's all of our ingredients. Like I said, I'm not sure how much, once you mix this all up and everything, how many caps this is supposed to fill. I did just yesterday sent a message asking, well, how many caps is this supposed to fill? Never got back yet, so anyway, it doesn't look like it's going to fill all that many. Of course, you only use it says approximately a third of this small scoop. So, and when you're making the percussion caps using the former, or whatever you want to call it, the dye, you're only going to get about, well, let's put it this way, about 1 out of every 3 or 1 out of every 4 isn't going to come out quite nice enough. You'll see what I'm talking about when I pull these out that I've made. Okay, I believe that's mixed up pretty good. It's a nice gray color, and I don't see any lumps of white in there or anything. And we'll put some pictures up right down here so you can see what I mean. They don't look pretty, I'll tell you that much. And some of them you're not going to probably want to use, like this one here. It's real high on one side and it's low on another. I don't know, I don't know if this camera can pick it up or not. It looks like the white balance is way off on this, but I'm not going to use that one. That one didn't come out good at all, and neither did that one. Okay, anyway, oops, that one stuck to my finger. Okay, there they are. Let me see if I can get you zoomed in here a little better on this camera. There we go. There. Myself, I think somebody was telling me, they left me a comment on my last video, the first half of this, that there's another former that you can get that looks like a hole punch. I've been looking for that. The only one I found was this one on the internet. So if you know a link to that other one, please get in contact with me. In fact, leave a message down below and let me know where you saw that. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and try to fill some of these. Let me get my little tweezers out here. And what I did was I took a old hair tie and put on there so I can kind of slide it up there and keep these things standing upright somewhat. Yeah, that's not going to work. So we're just going to hold it like this. We'll get this little scoop here. It's kind of hard to see through the scoop. I'm not sure if that's a third. Well, I tell you, I'm sure there's probably an easier way of doing it. That looks like about a half. Now let's just try one here. Now I'm sure we're gonna probably make a mess. And acetone. You could borrow your old lady's fingernail polish remover. That's acetone. Of course, I don't have an old lady anymore, so I bought fingernail polish remover. Or you can just buy acetone, or you can also use denatured alcohol, it says, or what was the other one? It was one of the, rubbing alcohol. Okay, let's see if we can get a drop down in here. This isn't picking it up on the camera. Okay, we'll drop that down in there. And it says to let that sit for about 5 minutes, and then take a wooden match and kind of like pack it down. Be careful with wooden matches around this stuff. I don't know how flammable or how explosive this stuff is, but I'd rather not find out. Alright, let's build another one of these and see how it goes. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take them out and we're going to try them. Of course, that won't be until tomorrow sometime, but for you it'll just be a little wait. I hope I'm getting enough in there. It's kind of hard scooping this stuff up with that little tiny scoop. Of course, I spilt about probably 2 caps worth. And here I am trying to scoop it out of the back side of the scooper here. Oh yes, and it says when you're mixing this stuff and working with it, don't have your face in it, so like I just did. Okay, well, that looks like all we're going to get out of that. Let's go ahead and put acetone in these, and then we'll I guess 2 drops wouldn't hurt because it's going to mainly evaporate anyway. I think that's the one I already did. I know this part's probably super boring, just watching me drop this in here. Oops. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 drops just to be on the safe side. Okay, I'm going to let it sit for about 10 minutes here. Alright, well, these have been sitting for about 8 to 10 minutes. Now it says to kind of pack them down using a wooden match. So, let's try that. I don't think I would try to pack it down too hard. Because, like I said, these things are possibly combustible right now, and you don't want any accidents happening. Now, this is the same kit that you would use for reloading 22 shells, so if you're into that, this company has that. By the way, down below in the show comments, I will put a link to this company. Now, this powder doesn't seem to be packing down all that far into those caps, so I'm really curious. We got them packed down in there now. I'm real curious if these are even going to go on to the nipples. So we'll find out tomorrow. Well, for you in a little while here. But yeah, be interesting to see. Now, I'm going to take a couple of close-up shots just so you can kind of see. Let me get a couple of these caps out of here. And now we'll set up 3 of those there and put a couple of these around those, so you can kind of get an idea of what your caps are going to look like. Now, these are supposed to be number 11 caps, so with number 11s, I kind of got to squish them a little bit to get them to stay on the nipple. So let me grab a different camera here real quick, and we'll take a couple of shots here with this camera. There we go. Okay, you'll see there we go. You'll see what these look like compared to the store-bought caps. They don't look pretty, but if they do the job, that's what counts. So we'll get back to you in a little bit. Well, in just a minute. For me, tomorrow. Well, we're out here. Got this loaded up. In the interest of time, I've already loaded a couple of chambers on the 1851 with powder and ball. The main reason for coming out here is just to see if these caps work. So let me go ahead. I'm going to pop off just a regular, this is a regular store-bought cap here. The main reason I wanted to pop one of those off was to scare my dog going in the house, because I don't like her out here when I'm firing. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put one of these caps. Let me show you what they look like, how they finally turned out. Hopefully I can get this in there. I guess you can see those down in there, hopefully. Anyway, we're going to go ahead, put one of these on a loaded cylinder and see how she does. Now I did find, I tried to put one of these on there last night and really didn't like the fit on there. Alright, well, we got it on there. Let's see what happens. Well, I think those caps are going to work. What do you think? Let's try one more. They do kind of blow the cap up pretty good. So when you're using these, you might want to keep an eye out for particles falling down behind the hammer there. Okay. Let's find the other empty cylinder, or loaded cylinder. Get another one of these homemade caps. Now these things are hard to get on there, I'll tell you. Okay, there we go. You can see the homemade cap on there. Spin that around. Alright. Okay, let's see how it does. Oh, that one didn't do too good. Let's keep that facing down that way for just a minute. We'll try another cap. Try another one here. Sorry about this video going so long, but I definitely wanted to get this one out there because caps are definitely hard to find. So I'm sure there's a lot of people that can be using this information. You know, I'm just wondering if that maybe that cap wasn't on there good. I don't know. Okay, let's give another one a try here. Alright, well, I'll say those caps worked pretty good. Thank you for watching. Please, if you haven't yet, go down, click the subscribe button, click that little bell icon. That way you'll be notified next time we upload a video. And I'll put some videos over here somewhere. Or over here. No, it's over here. That I think you might like. Until next time, keep preparing.